He just kept on looking at me weird that day.
A teenager trapped inside her mother's stolen car.
I was just like, I couldn't believe it.
The man police say was behind the wheel is someone the family knows very well.
He jumped his seat and said, "I'm sorry, Allison."
But that's when the story turns from terrifying to bizarre.
Officers received a call, another 911 call, that the suspect was here.
Why he's now being dubbed the Thirsty Thief. Plus,
I'm saying because I'm intimidated every day, and every time I come out my door, I'm facing him.
but a battle with the man across the hall reaches a boiling point.
I heard him say some stuff, well, I'm gonna kill that.
The apartment gun battle.
Choo, choo.
And the chilling thing the alleged gunman did next that sent shivers down their spines.
Calm, cool, collective.
You're watching Oklahoma's News 4 at 10.
And that's where we begin at 10 o'clock tonight with a man staring down the barrel of a loaded gun.
The bullets coming within inches as neighbors ducked for cover. News 4's Peyton Yeager joins us now live with the story. And Peyton, the accused gunman here has a new home, at least for now.
Yeah, Jolene, that suspect is here at the Oklahoma County Jail, and the victim lucky to be alive. As soon as neighbors heard chaos upstairs, they called 911 to report another scary chapter in this neighbor feud.
Because I'm intimidated every day. I live here in 2, he lives down here in 8. And every time I come out my door, I'm facing him.
A few doors separating an ongoing face-off, but the battle recently reaching boiling point when shots were fired.
Oh yeah, I'm still scared.
Police say the man who pulled the trigger is Earl Smith.
He was aiming for him, I could tell.
Corwin Davenport, the alleged target. He tells us he was outside on his balcony talking to his landlord when it happened. According to court documents, Smith got agitated because he thought they were talking to him. That's when police say he went inside, grabbed a handgun, and fired off 2 rounds just feet away.
Choo, choo.
Davenport dodging the gunfire, one of the bullets hitting the ceiling, the other landing just above the doorframe. Sandra Burns, who was caught in the crossfire, worried Smith would turn the gun on her next.
Then I heard him say some stuff, well, I'm gonna kill that. Well, I just thought, well, he probably will. He's a psycho.
Court documents say Smith ran inside to stash the pistol and then sat down in a chair and waited for officers to arrive.
Calm, cool, collective.
Davenport still shaken up and looking into legal action.
I'm just gonna wait and just talk to my attorney.
Neighbors say Smith's anger has been a problem for years. This final straw now landing him behind bars, facing a shooting with intent to kill charge.
My door's shut and locked. You kidding me?
And I did get the landlord on the phone today. He said he didn't want to comment on the investigation. And the victim tells me the suspect's family has visited his door several times, begging for the charges to be dropped. But the victim tells me he wants the charges right where they are. Reporting live at the Oklahoma County Jail, Peyton Yeager, Oklahoma's News 4.
Thank you, Peyton. 1 person killed, 5 others hurt after a deadly crash tangled traffic for hours near Northeast 23rd and Midwest Boulevard. Right now, it's not really clear how severe those injuries are or what caused that crash. However, just within the last 30 minutes, crews were able to reopen the intersection.
Also tonight, an Oklahoma man accused in a brutal bar beating is also accused of beating himself up, too. That's Brandon Killian. He is facing up to 18 years in prison for his violent attack, alleged, outside of Shawnee's Brickhouse Saloon last month. The victim spent weeks in the hospital recovering, and tonight, authorities now saying that the 28-year-old lied to police, making a false statement. Then they say he punched himself in the face to make it look like he was attacked.
The side of my face hurts, yes. The side of my face where, no, right here, where I was first socked.
Hey, your face looks red over there now. Rubbing on your face or something while we were doing?
A little bit, yeah.
Right now, Killian is in jail in Oklahoma County, locked up for an unrelated crime of not showing up to drug court.
A man could be facing kidnapping charges. The victim, his own teenage neighbor. On Crime Watch, a bizarre story involving a thirsty thief and a stolen car. But fortunately, the case did not take too long for police to crack. News 4's Cassandra Sweetman has more on the man who turned himself in to police. Cassandra?
Jolene, he allegedly called 911 from the police station after abandoning the car nearby. Now, the 15-year-old girl he allegedly kidnapped was able to escape, but she said she ran to her mother in tears.
He just just kept on looking at me weird that day.
But Allison and her mother, Jennifer Daniel, say it came out of nowhere.
I was just like, I couldn't believe it.
Jennifer was driving to Dollar General with her teen and toddler in the car when they offered a ride to their neighbor, Dylan Hammondtree. He told them he needed a drink.
We've known him for like a couple of years. I would have never thought he would have did something like this.
At the store, Jennifer took her toddler in with her, leaving Allison and Hammondtree behind. That's when she says he jumped in the driver's seat.
He jumped the seat and said, "I'm sorry, Allison." Locked the door, pulled out.
Allison acted quickly, jumping out before he could drive too far away.
She was crying, very upset.
Hammondtree kept going while Jennifer called police. But it was a second 911 call that has investigators scratching their heads.
Officers received a call, another 911 call, that the suspect was here at the police department, that he was telling them he was dehydrated.
Harrah Police Chief Gary Morgan says Hammondtree made the call from outside the Harrah Police Station after ditching the car a block away.
We don't know what his motive was. We know that he locked the doors and told the 15-year-old girl, "I'm sorry." What his intentions were at that point, I don't know, but he didn't stop to let her out.
Hammondtree could now be facing charges of kidnapping and stealing his neighbor's car.
You just can't do that and expect no repercussions.
Now, Jennifer and her husband say they want to remain generous neighbors, but from now on, they're going to be more careful about who they trust. Eli?
Yeah, after being betrayed like that, Cassandra, thank you. A scare inside of a local chemical company ends up not really being anything at all. Some news outlets in Oklahoma City reported explosions happening at Moon Chemical near Southwest 8th and Council. But you know what? It turns out it was just a blown out light bulb.
Now, first weather from the Forewarned Storm Team.
And this afternoon's heat and humidity really got with it in the form of some afternoon drive showers and thunderstorms. Did it pour where you lived? It did for a lot of folks. Let's go ahead and check it out. This is what 2.5 inches of rain looks like in about a 90-minute period, captured from our downtown Oklahoma City camera. That's the Chesapeake Arena down there in the foreground. Isn't that something else? It was really coming down. A flood advisory was in effect for a while, around the 6 and 7 o'clock hour, and then the rain moved out. And from Carroll here, the beautiful rainbow, in many cases a double rainbow. Take you back 5 hours ago, showers and thunderstorms formed on an outflow boundary here in central Oklahoma. They did a nice job at really lighting up the sky there with frequent lightning, some 45 and 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts, and torrential rain. Turns out the heaviest rainfall in the neighborhoods in much of South Oklahoma City, 2.5 inches of rain. Downtown had 2.3. Other areas had a ½ inch, some cases even less than that. But tonight, guys, I'm tracking not only Oklahoma weather, but a tropical area of low pressure forming that could be heading for Oklahoma. Details on that in that forecast coming up.
Thank you, Mike. Oklahoma no longer on shaky ground. The number of earthquakes on the downward spiral. Back in 2017, Oklahoma had 144 earthquakes that were magnitude 3.0 and higher. That's about the time that state regulators ordered energy companies to reduce their wells and injection volumes. Last year, 97 quakes ranked 3.0 and higher. So far this year, only 27.
Good news there. And also tonight, Oklahoma is in the middle of an identity crisis. At least that's according to our Lieutenant Governor, Matt Pinnell. He says he now has a plan to revamp the Sooner State. He wants a new logo, slogan, even license plates. As you'll remember, Oklahoma just switched to the scissor-tail flycatcher plates in 2017 with a mandatory deadline that every license plate be replaced by January 1st, 2018.
Personally, I don't believe that having the Twitter bird on our license plate is great branding for the state of Oklahoma. Again, I'm not a big fan of it, and people make a joke about it, but I'm also well aware that taxpayers just paid for, those new plates.
Pinnell also wants to update the state website and to give Oklahoma a new logo and slogan. He's working on a plan with a public relations firm right now, and that's going to include feedback from people in the community. Tonight, there is no estimated cost for the project, but Pinnell does say it shouldn't cost taxpayers anything. They hope to start rolling out those changes next year.
Boy, talk about an identity crisis. Mike, Mother Nature still isn't sure if it is spring or summer.
Well, that's exactly right. We had the heavy rain today. It had been kind of dry for a while, but we sure had it coming down in buckets this afternoon. Where do we go from here? I'll have that 7-day plus 4 coming up.
Good question. Plus, several Edmond homes about to have a date with a wrecking ball. Who's buying them and whether others in the area are going to face eminent domain. We've got it next.
You're watching Oklahoma's News 4 at 10 with Jolene Cheney, Kevin Ogle, Mike Morgan, Brian Brinkley, and Scott Hines in your corner. Oklahoma's News 4, looking out for you.
Imagine suffering from an illness where you were too weak to get out of bed, and throughout the day, you could expect to have a skyrocketing heart rate, migraines, nausea, even fainting at times. Well, tonight, that's what a young woman in our area faced, and her condition baffled doctors for months. Here's Allie Meyer with a preview.
J.C. Robison made the varsity team her freshman year at Cashion High School, a talented shooting guard with high hopes of playing college ball.
I just had a feeling in the pit of my stomach, like maybe something just really wasn't right.
J.C. was the picture of health until her junior year, when all of a sudden she was benched, crippled by an invisible illness.
I went back to school and I started passing out multiple times a day. And I started just waking up feeling nauseous and just with headaches, and I looked fine on the outside, and you know, I just looked like a healthy teenage girl, but my body on the inside obviously was fighting this struggle that no one could understand.
Doctors too were puzzled, even though this is a common condition that affects as many as 1 in 100 teenage girls.
And you may look healthy, but your body could be at risk. Coming up on Tuesday at 10, we'll tell you about the invisible illness and how one Oklahoma woman is fighting to regain her life.
Last week at 10, we told you about stadium lights at Edmond Memorial High School, flooding homes in the middle of the night with bright fluorescent lights. But tonight, some of those homes may not even be there much longer. The high school needs more land, so some homes are going to have to go. News 4's Brent Skarkey joined us now live with more on this. Brent.
Well, construction here at Edmond Memorial continues. It's the school district's original high school. It sits on just 26 acres of land. When you compare that to the 40 at Edmond North and the 80 at Edmond Santa Fe, you can see why school officials are trying to acquire more land in this already established neighborhood.
It started off, someone came to us and said, I'm thinking about selling my rent house. Are you all interested?
It turns out the Edmond superintendent was interested. As the nearby Memorial High School continues to grow both in students and facilities, property is at a premium, and there's no room left to expand. Edmond Public Schools now buying up houses along Pine Oak Drive, just to the east.
It's the only space left. I think it's great if they give them fair market value.
According to the superintendent and neighbors I talked to, they are. Edmond Schools have about 5 houses for between $130,000 and $150,000, reportedly around $90 a square foot, and there are negotiations on 2 others.
We're trying to purchase houses on this west side of Pine Oak for future parking.
Plans are initially to use the space as event parking only.
They need the land. As it is now, you can't park on your street during school hours. So, I mean, it would be good for the school.
School officials say the houses they now own will start coming down in August, clearing space for new parking lots. But what happens if some houses along the road don't want to sell? On this Nextdoor app thread, there was talk of eminent domain.
We want to be good neighbors. We're not even contemplating eminent domain or anything like that.
Now, as for the neighbors on the east side of the street, the 2 I talked to say they're excited to have the school as their neighbor on the west side of Pine Oak Drive. From Edmond, Brent Skarkey, Oklahoma's News 4.
Thank you, Brent. You know, Mike, I'm going to admit to you, I really didn't, maybe I didn't quite hear you correctly in your earlier weathercast, because I walked out at 6:30 and it was raining and I didn't have my umbrella with me.
Aha! You know, it turns out if you would have taken about 10 steps the other direction, you wouldn't have needed it.
Or just waited 10 seconds.
Or just waited a 10 seconds
minutes.
or a Will Rogers minute, perhaps,
Yeah,
right? Yeah, because it poured in a lot of areas and didn't do much in others. It rained at your place, because I know where you are near downtown. It poured
was like
down
a monsoon.
There. It was a monsoon. Let's go ahead and check it out here. A lot of great pictures from our viewers as well came in. Check this out. This is what 2.5 inches of rain looks like in downtown Oklahoma City in a mighty short period of time. This was about a 90-minute period here. Waves of showers and thunderstorms came through, and they kept coming through. You folks in South Oklahoma City got the lion's share of the rainfall this afternoon. Came in on an outflow boundary, which is a mini cold front that is laid down by some cooling winds from other thunderstorms nearby. It did the trick in many parts of the metro today. Right now we're very mild, but we're muggy, 75 degrees, and the winds are from the south at 8 with a 70 dew point. So Will Rogers, the airport, had 0.06. You wouldn't have needed much of an umbrella with that amount of rainfall. 69 degrees our morning low, 92 degrees our daytime high, and the heat index briefly topped out at just over 100. We got great pictures from our viewers today from Sue down by Kanawha. This was part of the culprit for the Oklahoma City outflow boundary thunderstorms. You can see this one putting off a nice wedge of cooler weather here. See that wedge-shaped cloud cover, a gust front, or an outflow boundary? There's the cooling rain down there. Sue sent that in from near Kanawha a little earlier in the afternoon before the storms developed in Oklahoma City. Of course, we had the storms here in the metro. Then we had lots of rainbows and some double rainbows across a pretty good part of the metro area. South Oklahoma City was also shining nicely after the heavy rain from Love. They're showing some love on that rainbow there in South Oklahoma City. In the wake, we have temperatures which are muggy, but they're pretty mild in the low to mid 70s right now here in Oklahoma City. And we're from the low 70s to the lower 80s across our state tonight. And generally partly cloudy skies. Taking you back 5 hours here in time, you see the waves of showers and thunderstorms. Now look carefully for the blue line traveling from this side of the screen to the other side of the screen very quickly. Did you see it go by there? That's that outflow boundary that I'm talking about. It provides lift to the atmosphere. It does a nice job at lifting this heat and humidity that's over Oklahoma City and generated the widespread showers and thunderstorms. So areas that did not see much rain, northeast Edmond and parts of East Midwest City. Meanwhile, South Oklahoma City just dumped on. Some rain gauges are closer to 3 inches, the 2.5. Downtown had 2.3. Near Will Rogers Park, 0.9. Mesta Park area, about 1.25 inches there. Around OCU, 0.3 of an inch, not too far from the station here. And about 1/2 inch in Southwest Edmond and 1/2 inch around Quail Springs Mall, the Lake Hefner area. So shifting gears here, this is mighty interesting. An area of disturbance disturbed weather down here in the southeast, Florida, and there is an opportunity for this to develop in the northern Gulf of Mexico the next 4 to 5 days and track to the west-northwest. Conditions appear favorable for that to develop to an area of low pressure, and the steering currents may take that toward Oklahoma in about 7 days from right now. So we'll track that. 72 tonight, only a low chance of storms going forward and a low chance of storms for tomorrow. Should be noticeably hotter tomorrow, and the heat index likely climbing to over 100 degrees. So 72 tonight, metro storm chance 20%, and this light green is that low opportunity of storms overnight tonight. Temperatures will be in the lower 70s. A bit better chance of a few scattered thunderstorms in northwest Oklahoma, but mostly low 70s for lows with a southerly breeze. So not a real active night tonight. 94 for tomorrow, 20% storm chance, south wind at 10 to 18 miles per hour. And this will be a slight storm chance. You see it right here. High temperatures from 92 to 96 for tomorrow. So again, noticeably hotter, and outside the storm areas as hot as the upper 90s. In southwest Oklahoma for tomorrow, a light north wind for you folks up around Woodward, maybe a few degrees less hot tomorrow afternoon. Then we head toward Wednesday. That same wind shift line stalls for a little while down to the southeast of the metro, so a few more scattered storms do develop on Wednesday afternoon, but again, even there, only about a 20% chance of rain. So hopefully you got some rain today. Still a chance going forward, but it is a lower opportunity. Low 90s to upper 90s for highs on Wednesday as well. To the 7-day +4 we go. So basically a bump in the road today in terms of those thunderstorms. Lower rain chances going forward. High temperature 94 for tomorrow, 20%. 94 and 20% on Wednesday. That weak cool front does come through. The big thing you may notice will be slightly less muggy temperatures. Allow the lows to drop into the mid to upper 60s Friday and Saturday morning. That'll be a noticeable change. Low 90s into Friday and the upcoming weekend. The weekend does look dry, and I put this 20% here, here, and here for the possibility of Barry. Again, it is a long shot. It's an all or nothing deal, but I will tell you that 1 or 2 of the computer models are showing that parts of Oklahoma get over a half a foot of rain with that.
Wow. And
but
with
again,
all
it's
those
a long
rainbows,
shot. It may disappear tomorrow, but it's something worth watching for sure. Those tropical systems give us a lot of rain.
Yeah, we know you'll be watching it.
We
And
will.
with all those rainbows, it's like your morning bowl of Lucky Charms, right?
Right, exactly. What's under that rainbow?
Mike, thank you for that. And for any changes overnight, get your forewarn in the morning. That is the updated forecast, and it starts at 4 a.m. with Damian Lodes and Emily Sutton
Also,
right here.
Coming up, an unlikely Sooner reunion nearly 10 years in the making.
Plus, the under-the-radar teams who can come in and swoop up Russell Westbrook. Russ's shocking destinations next.